The Norwegian writer Jon Fosse, with his novel Septology, has written what I think is probably the best novel written in my lifetime. When I even try to think of what's another novel that comes close, I draw a blank. I can name all the names, I can name all the novels of the last 50 years that people say are big novels, and I can't think of anything that even comes close. Septology, it's called, and of course, a lot of people are finding out this is a great novel, right? Hence, he won the Nobel Prize in Literature. But I just want to make a couple points. There's no way I could summarize everything that's so moving, impactful, profound about this novel, but 2 points. Point one, the novel somehow breaks down the very modern sense that a lot of people have recognized, everyone from Marx to Freud to Edmund Burke, that, modern people are sort of atomized and alienated. It sort of breaks down that illusion of atomism and separateness. And it does it through various narrative and literary devices, including the constant use of doppelgangers, the repetition of names, so that the narrator seems to be reproduced himself outside of himself through others. Asle is his name. He has a doppelganger, also named Asle. And there's this blurring of self, also with his wife, whose name is almost exactly like Asle. It's a variation. I think it's actually an anagram of his name. And everyone's name is a variation of other names, almost in this repetitive way that kind of reveals this interconnection. But also because the mind of the narrator keeps reaching outward toward others as he passes them through space. It's almost as though Fosse makes us aware of the way in which there's a magnetic pull that we have with other people that we're in relationship with. They almost have a pull on us, like filaments on a magnet, where you pass them, even people that are distant, or you pass them on the street, or people you're in an antagonistic or positive relationship. Either way, there's this invisible pull. Your mind reaches out to them, and that's how he accomplishes this narratively. Is the mind is always reaching out. The narrator's mind, Asle's mind, is always reaching out to others. And it sort of breaks down this sense we have, this artificial sense we have, that we could opt out of the relations that we already find ourselves in with the humans that we're in a generation with the humans that we're neighbors with, families with, friends with, even those with whom we're fighting. There's this weird push and pull that he captures. Finally, and this is the second big thing that I wanted to mention about this novel, the novel brilliantly kind of captures the what it's like feeling, what in philosophy we call phenomenology, of the sacred or the religious, if you like, consciousness that occurs, but within ordinary life, So it covers almost in real time, several days in a row, kind of stream of consciousness style, a little bit like James Joyce and Ulysses, though much clearer and more concrete in some ways. I'm a great admirer of Ulysses and James Joyce, but this in a ways has more immediacy to it. It's a challenging read, but it's not Ulysses challenging. And in that sort of consciousness of the narrator, you get the sense of ordinary things: snowfall, traveling in a car, stopping at a hotel, the sensation of being sober, being drunk. And all these things are sort of somehow imbued with a knowledge or an awareness of the sacred or something ineffable, as his awareness sort of waxes and wanes. So if you're religious, it kind of instructs you as how to look at reality, to see the mystery of God there. And if you're not religious, it also has this way of training your gaze or your eyes toward what it's like to perceive an ordinary, secularized field of objects, the presence of a mystery or of God. And that's something quite interesting, because it almost has this reverse effect of disenchanting the sort of Newtonian lay of the land and spread of objects. And if I can say one other thing that also other critics have mentioned about this book, Fosse is very aware of the way in which deep within human suffering, whether you're religious or not, there's an inner peace or space in there that if you've suffered a lot in your life, and all humans who live long enough come to suffer at some point tremendously. It's just the drama of being human. Inside that tremendous suffering of sickness, of loss, of disappointment, of whatever it is, there is a strange, weird, deep inner space that there's peace. And Septology constantly revisits this theme of, in the darkness, there's a kind of invisible light that becomes luminous. Oh, but only in the darkness does it reveal itself. And this is a sort of superficial thing in a way, but give credit where credit is due to the bookmaking. The American bookmaker made the book jacket gray, and then inside it's yellow, if you see that. So, and it captures this profound metaphor that recurs throughout the book, that in the darkness, Fosse helps you try to see or perceive how there might be an inner flickering, invisible light that's only perceived within that dark.